August 13, 1944. Northern France. Inside his Third Army headquarters, General George S. Patton stood over a map, silent and focused. His forces had just captured Argentan, a small town only 15 miles south of Falaise. 15 miles. That was all that separated Patton from sealing one of the greatest military encirclements in history. More than 100,000 German soldiers were trapped ahead of him, their retreat collapsing, their formations breaking apart. Patton's tanks could reach Falaise in hours. The German army in France was on the verge of total destruction. Then the phone rang. It was General Omar Bradley. "Stop where you are," Bradley said. "Do not advance beyond Argentan." Patton froze. Victory was within reach, and he was being ordered to halt. The German 7th Army was retreating in chaos. One final push could have wiped it out completely. Furious, Patton argued back. "Let me go to Falaise," he said. "And we'll drive the British into the sea for another Dunkirk." Bradley didn't argue. The order stood. Third Army would halt at Argentan and wait for British and Canadian forces to close the gap from the north. Patton hung up the phone and stared at the map again. 15 miles. That gap would remain open for 8 days. The Falaise Pocket was not an accident. For 6 weeks after D-Day, Allied forces had been trapped in Normandy's hedgerows. British and Canadian troops fought brutal battles around Caen. American forces pushed slowly through Bocage country, paying for every meter in blood. Everything changed on July 25, when Operation Cobra smashed through German defenses near Saint-Lô. Patton's Third Army exploded into open country, racing across France. Hitler responded with a catastrophic decision. Instead of retreating, he ordered a counterattack. On August 7, German Panzer Division struck near Mortain. The attack collapsed within 48 hours, leaving German forces exposed on 3 sides. The pocket was forming. By August 12, over 100,000 German soldiers were trapped between Falaise and Argentan. Their only escape was a narrow corridor to the east. German commanders knew the danger. Field Marshal von Kluge understood that every hour mattered. But Hitler ordered them to hold their positions. Inside the pocket, chaos reigned. Allied aircraft destroyed vehicles on every road. Artillery hammered retreating columns. Units were mixed together. Communication collapsed. This was the moment Patton had been waiting for. Major General Wade Haislip's 15 Corps captured Argentan on August 13 with minimal resistance. Reconnaissance units reported the road to Falaise was lightly defended. Patton's armor was ready. 15 miles of open country. A classic encirclement. But there was a problem. The boundary line between American and British command zones ran directly through the gap. Patton didn't care about lines on maps. Bradley did. Bradley faced a decision that would define the campaign. Allow Patton to advance, and risk confusion, friendly fire, and political fallout, or halt and preserve alliance unity. Montgomery was not Bradley's subordinate. Crossing into his sector without permission could trigger a diplomatic crisis. Bradley chose caution. Patton was ordered to stop. Thousands of American tanks sat idle south of Falaise. Crews shut down engines and watched smoke rise from enemy positions they were forbidden to attack. The enemy was running. And they were waiting. Patton wrote in his diary that night that the halt was a terrible mistake. He was certain the gap would not be closed in time. He was right. While Patton waited, Canadian and British forces advanced slowly from the north. German defenders fought desperately to hold the escape route open. The terrain favored defense. Every field was a fortress. Progress was measured in meters. Between August 13 and August 21, tens of thousands of German soldiers escaped through the gap. The roads were scenes of horror, burning vehicles, dead horses, bodies scattered across the countryside. Allied pilots reported they could smell death from the air. But the Germans kept coming. When the pocket finally closed, it was too late. Allied forces captured around 50,000 German prisoners and counted 10,000 dead. But between 20 and 50,000 escaped. Among them were veterans of elite SS panzer divisions. These men would fight again. 4 months later, December 16, 1944. German forces launched their final offensive, the Battle of the Bulge. The spearhead? The same SS panzer divisions that escaped Falaise. Over 19,000 Americans were killed. More than 80,000 became casualties. It was the bloodiest battle the United States Army fought in Europe. Patton later wrote that many of the units opposing him at Bastogne were formations that should have been destroyed in August. He had warned them, now Americans were paying for it in blood. Bradley later admitted the halt order was probably a mistake. Publicly, he cited friendly fire risks. Privately, he knew the decision had been political. Alliance harmony had been chosen over military destruction. The Germans escaped. And the war went on. World War II wasn't decided only by battles, but by decisions. Decisions made in quiet headquarters. That sent thousands of men to die months later. If you want more untold stories, hidden decisions, and forgotten truths from World War II, subscribe to our channel, WW2 Untold Rising. Like the video, share it, and turn on notifications. Because history still has stories the world hasn't heard. Disclaimer. This video is based on historical records, military memoirs, and the interpretations of historians. Some details and perspectives may vary between sources due to the fog of war. This content is created for educational and documentary purposes only. It does not glorify violence, war, or any ideology.